So we're going to do finding the area of a regular hexagon given info, which is 42 centimeters. Now I'm going to draw a hexagon here, and it has, now it is not perfect, but it has 6 sides. We have 42 centimeters, and we know that the hexagon has 6 sides, so we're going to see the measurement for each side, and 6 into 42 is 7. So we know that each side is 7. To break this down, it's kind of hard how to find out the area because we don't really have a shape that we can go ahead and find an area with, and we're going to use one that we know. So I know that the area for a triangle is half base times height. So we're going to go ahead and break it down. We're going to take a line from the middle because it's all congruent because it's all the same size, and we're going to go to each vertex here. And we're going to have 6 triangles. And now it makes it a little bit easier because now we're just going to try to find one triangle. And now that we have one triangle, we can go ahead and find out all the rest because we'll have 6 of them. But once we found the one, we can determine all the 6. So now we have the triangle here. And I'm going to make it bigger right over here, just to easier to see. And we're going to go ahead and split it in half right here. Okay, good, it is congruent, isosceles triangle. And split it right in the middle. And we're going to split into 2s, which will be 7 over 2, 7 over 2. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it to the other side. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. So now we know that we have one of the squares here. We have right here 7 over 2 and 7 over 2. Now if we go back to the circle here, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to look at our hexagon. If we make a circle in the middle that we split our vertices and made a circle because they're all equal sides, okay? Equal sides, everything is equal, we made an isosceles triangle. Right here, we now know that we can make a 360. This circle right here makes splits into 360. Okay, 360 all the way around, and each of these are going to give us an angle, and we have 360, 6 pieces, and we're going to find out from one of those angles into 6. Okay, 6, we're going to go ahead and it'll give us 60. So now we have each of these little angles here for every one of these triangles. Each of these angles are going to be 60. Now when we have 60 right here, we've now gone ahead and bisected it and split it into 2. Okay, one side is going to be 60. Oh, sorry, one side is going to be 30 and the other one is going to be 30, splitting it to 60. So now we actually have something special. We have our right angles, and we now know if we have one side, we can determine the rest. And this is 180 minus 90 minus 30 equals 60. So this angle is 60. And we have now made a special triangle. And the special triangle is great because we can now determine, because we have one side here that we have one side, we have the base here that we know, and so we have one side, we can now determine this side right here. Because if we have our special right triangle, we have our adjacent, our hypotenuse alongside, and the short side here. That we have our one side here, we can now determine that this is 7 over 2 square root of 3. So we don't have to go further because now we know our base right here and our height. And we now know the area equals half base times height. Because we're not going ahead and find out anything else. We just needed those 2 components in order to find the area of this one triangle. So let's go ahead and break it down right here. We know that area equals 1/2 times base times height. And our base, remember, is the whole thing. We're trying to find our whole triangle now. Is going to be 7. Our height is now 7 over 2, square root over 3. So area equals half 7 over 7 square root over 2. Okay, so this is now our formula. Now we have to break it down. And remember, we're still on our one triangle, so we have area equals our half that we had, 7, which is our base, and then the height that we determined, 3 over 2. Area equals 7 times 7, 49. Square root over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. We aren't done yet, because remember, if you go back, we only found one triangle. There's 6 that we have to determine. So we have our 1. So here's our pieces that we decided to go in our 6. And we now determined our 1, but we have 6 more that we have to do. So let's go ahead and one more, almost there. The hexagon we have to multiply by 6. So 6A, which is a hexagon, is equals, our A's are here, okay, going to be 6 around 49 over 3, and the square root of 3, sorry, over 4. Now we need to go ahead and simplify it a little bit. It's a lot easier to simplify. We're going to simplify the 6 and the 2, or 6 and the 4. 2. Make this a little bit clearer for this can get messy. And one thing about math is we always need to make sure that we're making this very clear. 6 times 49 square root of 3 over 4. Okay, so we're going to do 2 into 3 is 6. Okay, 3 into 49 is, I'm calling this a different color, 147 square root over 3, square root of 3 and 2. And this is our area, is 147 square root of 3 over 2. This is a lot, and I know step by step, but if you break it down in smaller parts, and then bringing it to smaller parts, and then opening it up to multiply it to your size of what you did, it's a lot easier doing it that way.